Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. Shaman Foulhoof is a devotee of decay and rot, a twisted monster with matted, bile-splattered fur who yearns to see the entire Everspring Swath drowned in effluent. In this guide, I'll finish off the Darkwater box set entirely and showcase how to paint up Shaman Foulhoof using a mixture of contrast paints to effectively recreate the awesome brute of a villain that he is. So grab your paints and your brushes and let's get hopping. And we're beginning with Shaman Foulhoof. This is going to be the last one and then all of Darkwater is complete. So things to note to begin with, the model is fully primed in White Scar. Now let's get started with Flesh Tone. It's going to be my own take on it. In a sense, I've done a lot of Beastmen this year and I have a particular paint scheme in mind, and we're going to go classic in their colour and then we're just going to make it absolutely horrible looking with the idea of Nurgle. So to begin with, we want the skin tone. Now, this is a 5 part mix. So we're going to take 2 parts of Darkoath Flesh into a palette, 2 parts of Fyreslayer Flesh into the palette, and 1 part of Lamy Medium into the palette. Essentially, we're just creating this skin tone. Stir it together well, apply it all over the flesh, but we're also applying it all over the hair as well. It just makes it more organic when you put the next paint over the top, and it just works wonders. So get that done, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Wyldwood, and this is going over all the hair and fur, as well as all that big dreadlock hair. And as you can see, the undertone, which was the flesh, is now gone. We can't see that obviously, but it does give it a warmer, richer brown, organic feel. So just take your time, pick them all out. You've got hair all over the place, dotted around, back of the hooves, that kind of stuff, on the arms. And yeah, just take your time, piece by piece. Next up, we're going to take Gutrippa Flesh, and we're going to thin this into a sort of glaze consistency. So it's going to be 2 parts of Lamy Medium with 1 part of Gutrippa Flesh, essentially making it super thin and glaze-like. Mix it together well, and then we're just applying it over everything we've painted so far. And as you can see, it just gives it this real sickly hewn vibe. Pretty nurgly, pretty grim. My only little tip here is when you're applying it, don't apply too much at once, because Gutrippa Flesh is quite strong. You don't want it pulled excessively, otherwise it just won't look right. We just want a nice even layer across all of the work that we've done so far, and it just tints the skin just absolutely horribly. So apply that, let it dry, we'll move on to the next step. While all of that Gutrippa Flesh is drying, we're going to move on and take Shyish Purple. This is going to be for all of the wrapping that we see on the staff, as well as his dagger. Nice and simple. Things to watch out for though, both the dagger, so where the top part is, and the bottom of the staff doesn't have wrapping on. That is exposed wood, so don't paint it on there. But nice and simple, just start at the top and always work your way down. Next up, we're taking Skeleton Horde, and mostly obvious, it's going to be over all the bone details, but also all the wood. The wood being, in this case, this bit that's protruding out of his shoulder. You've got the hooves, which obviously aren't wood, but you've got the bottom stump of the staff, you've got the top part, the dagger, the hilt, and then you've got this top beam of wood of the staff too. Now, it's an under there at that point, and obviously the same for the bones and stuff. Just take your time, get it all in place, and then we'll move on to the next. Next up, we're going to do the dark purple cloth. So from what I can see from the box art, there's a little bit that's the front sash down here, and then obviously you've got the headpiece here. The rest of it's a very dark grungy green. So the colour mix here is going to be Sigvuld Burgundy. We're going to take 3 parts of this because that's the richness of the colour we see, but it is quite darkened. So we're going to add 1 part of Shyish Purple. Now I have added Lamy Medium to this mix, but this is not a ratio part. This is a single bit on the brush just to really help stir in, mix the flow. So 3 parts Sigvuld Burgundy to roughly 1 part Shyish Purple. If you want a bit darker, just add a bit more Shyish Purple. And as you can see, it's very dark. It's absolutely perfect. It's quite grimy, but it also stands out really nicely against that bone. And obviously the bone's going to get darker, and you've got all the dark cloth. but it's nice to have that bit of contrast as well. Next up, we're going to create that grungy green cloak. Now, I have gone over the brown straps, but we'll go and paint over that in a minute. It's because I want them darker than they normally would be. We really want that grunge effect. So the colour mix here is going to be 1 part of Basilicanum Grey and 2 parts of Creed Camo. Simply Creed Camo is the colour I've been using across all the models of this range. It's very similar in tone to what we see on the box art. Obviously the Heavy Metal team have made it a lot darker and grungier, like this, and the Basilicanum Grey adds to that grungy effect. Darkens it, makes it grungy. So, nice and simple, take it piece by piece and paint on the paint. Next up, I'm taking Snakebite Leather, and this is going to be for the 2 bags. So you've got one here, right at the back, and you've got one here that's slightly smaller, just there. Nice and simple, just simple base coating. Next up, I am taking Militarum Green, and this is going to be for all of those weird wooden details. So as you can see, you've got this great big protruding growth coming out of the shoulder. You've got the staff, the bottom of the staff, the dagger bits, that kind of stuff. We're just picking out with Militarum Green. We're not filling it down, just paint it straight from the top all the way down like you would normally do. And the Skeleton Horde acting as an underlayer just creates this very grimy look, which is absolutely what we want. Next up, we're taking Cygor Brown, and this is going to be for the brown leather as well as the soil that's sculpted onto the base, which is just down here. So it goes down this middle section here, goes round the back on that side. Those little egg kind of things which we don't really want to know about. But our brown leather strap essentially will start up here. So you've got it just there, going all the way down under the horn. Obviously the other side, this is where it's going through, meeting down, going around, and then you've got this straight section all the way up to here under the cloth. Nice and simple. And then we'll move on to the next step. Next up, I'm taking Flesh Tearers Red, and I'm doing something a little bit different here, deviating from the box art. So you've got this rope binding that's holding up this skull, going all the way around the back there. It's done in brown on the box art, and it doesn't really stand out. Whereas doing something that's completely off-peak, there is no red on here, it just makes an area of interest that our eyes visually notice it. So that's my choice. We're going to go with Flesh Tearers Red for the string and rope. Now, while I've got Flesh Tearers Red to hand, we've also got this gruesome amount of blood that's sculpted on, that's dripping off the hand as he's holding that severed organ. Assuming it's a heart, goodness knows what it is. But we can just apply it on there. I am going to add blood to the blood god at the end, which will stipple over all of that. But it's good to have that as a sort of foundation colour in place. Next up, we're going to take Volupus Pink, and this is going to be to paint over the heart organ and just a small amount onto his tongue. Nice and simple, obviously avoiding the hands, and if you can, avoid the claws too, because we need to paint them as well. Next up, we're taking Nuln Oil, and this is just going to be for the trinkets over here. As you can see, we're literally just slapping it straight on. Nice and simple. Obviously, make sure it's not pooling excessively. Start at the top, work your way to the bottom, but it's got this off sort of white greyish effect, so Nuln Oil is the best paint for that one. Next up, we've got a few details to cover here. First of all, we're going back to Basilicanum Grey. Now, we're just using this in its purest form, no mixing here. This is for the rocks on the base, including this one. Now, we do have this recessed shade, which is tinted green. We'll worry about that towards the end. At the back here, avoid the eggs, but obviously just paint the rocks in their entirety. Moving on from that colour, we're taking Gryph Charger Grey. And this is for this little trinket medallion that's just here. It's on its own, just under the bell and that little disc thing. And finally for this bit, we're taking Black Templar, and this is just for his nails and claws, talons, whatever you'd like to call them. And up there as well. Next up, we're darkening down all the horns, as well as bringing a sort of layered transition of brown into the skeleton horde. So first of all, to achieve this, we're going to take Agrax Earthshade. We're going to shade this over all of the horns, all that bone detail, including the hooves. And while we've got it to hand, we're going to shade the base as well. Might as well get it done at the same time. Now let that dry completely, because we're going to then take Wyldwood and we're going to do something called feathering. And if you don't know what feathering is, I'm going to use this horn as an example. I've taken Wyldwood onto my brush, I've started at the top, I've painted it roughly down to here with my fingernails sort of pointing, wash my brush, and while it's damp, not sodden, I'm dragging the paint out towards the area I don't want it to be. Water and contrast paints don't work together. Literally, water will break down the structure of contrast paints. So by doing this, we're breaking down the pigments and the molecules of the paint, and it just breaks apart and creates a natural blend. So this Wyldwood blends into the skeleton horde. Nice and simple. We're going to take it from the tips, work our way down, and just feather it out. And we're doing this for each and every horn. Next up, just to point out, I have taken Flesh Tearers Red again, and this time it's just on that lump of blood that's been splattered onto that rock. Nice and simple. Then we're moving on to Nazdreg Yellow. This is going to be for all of the pus spots located around the body, and then you've got the eggs. In terms of pus spots like this, there's not that many at all. There are a few hidden ones. You've got ones on the horns, as well as bits on the tree as well, which I picked out. Nice and simple for that. Then we're going to take Moot Green. We're taking the smallest dot on the tip of our brush, and we're dotting his eye. And I have added an extra dot into the sort of empty eye socket, just to create this sort of demonic glow effect. Next up, we're taking Mortarian Grime, the shade paint, and I'm filling this down in a 1-to-1 mix with Lahmian Medium. Now I'm applying this over the entirety of the model. Every detail we've painted so far. There's two purposes to this. It's to provide more definition, more grunginess, more grimeness, as you can see, and it looks really great over it. It's subtle, but it just adds in the perfect way possible. But the Lahmian Medium is going to help us. We're going to do a lot of dry brushing. And with contrast paints being thin, they tend to chip off. The Lahmian Medium is going to act like a varnish, how it seals things down. So it's going to seal the paint down. It's not 100% guarantee. If you dry brush hard, you're going to chip it. But if you dry brush gently, it will be fine. So there's method to madness in just protecting our model. And it just means we get it done extra quick, so it's ready and looking awesome on the tabletop. So apply that Mortarian Grime thin down in a 1-to-1 mix with Lahmian Medium all over, and then just let it dry completely before we start dry brushing. So we're going to dry brush our details. I've got two colours here. Firstly, Dechala Lilac for all of the purple, wrap detailing, and you can also do it just on the bits of the cloth, but then for the outermost edges and the rest of the details, I've dry brushed Screaming Skull all over them, just to really pick out those areas nice and neatly, including the base as well. We're going to move on to our metallic details next. Next up, we're going to do some base coating, and it's our metallic details. First of all, we're taking Screaming Bell, and this is for our bronze details. Nice and simple. You've got a little bell down here, a little bell up there. Nice and simple. Moving on from that, we've got our silver details, and I'm using Iron Hand Steel here. So you've got the main sort of dish, as I'd call it there. You've got the one up here, and then you've got the little hooks that are holding up the stuff here. So base coat those, let them dry. While they're drying, we can work on some texture paints. So first of all, I'm taking Nurgle's Rot, and yes, I've applied it randomly around the base, but I've also applied it into the recesses of this sacrificial stone. Now granted, it looks a bit messy and grimy than it is there, but I've done that first so it's in place and there. Now once it's all dry, I've taken Blood for the Blood God, and I'm using a small dry brush here as a stippling effect. And as you can see, I've gone quite to town on his arm. It's going to be gorish. It's not going to be a nice, neat thing. You can imagine a savage creature like that has literally ripped his arm into someone, pulled that out. It's not going to be in a good state. So I've gone to town on it, but that's the beauty of it. Apply as little or as much as you want to. And because it's directly underneath, I'm splattering it all over as well. We're on to our final details now. Now to begin with, we're going to create a mix, and it's a 1-to-1 mix of Mantis Warriors Green and Militarum Green. Stir it well together in the palette, and nice and simply we're applying it into these round dishes all over, creating this green effect. Now while that's drying, we're going to take Agrax Earthshade. This is for our Screaming Bell details. Shade it all over. but it's also going to be for the blade. And there's a clever trick here to the blade where we can just avoid highlighting it. You've got this central edge that's raised in the middle. Just paint to the left and the right. Simple as that. And then you've got the automatic highlight in place, which is the Iron Hand Steel. Now, once the Screaming Bell Agrax Earthshade is dry, we're going to add some verdigris. The mix I like to create here is 3 parts Briar Queen Chill and 1 part Nihilakh Oxide. Essentially, they're the same colour. The amount of Briar Queen Chill, it makes the Nihilakh Oxide more of a contrast paint, but containing the technical properties. It just gives us better control, and apply little amounts around on the bronze detailing. There's not much to do. I also have applied it onto the base as well, just to create some added effect. Finally, I've taken, just to be a little bit lazy, but I wanted the dish to really shine, I've taken Ardcoat and I've just placed it over those metallic details just to really make them pop. With that, our model is complete. If you haven't done the rim of the base, obviously touch that up. I've already done it. For me, I use Abaddon Black, and we've got a little space here and a little space there just for a couple of tufts. And there we have it. Shaman Foulhoof is complete. Another great character. My last great character, in fact. My Darkwater set is complete. All these models are fantastic, but this one, he also stands out. I mean, he's a big boss anyway, but he's just a great model. Now, if this video has helped and inspired you, then please do give it that like. Share it, because other people can find it. They find the channel, it supports them in their hobby, and that's what this channel exists for. And if you haven't subscribed, then please consider doing so, because every bit of support helps the channel grow, and the more it grows, the more I just keep continuing to support you, the awesome Warhammer community. So, until the next time, do look after yourselves, and happy hobbying.